Okay, I just learned we have a clear bag policy at the stadium. My wife is set. Wow, how's your week? Mine's been something else, but it's been the best week of my professional life, and I think it's going to lead to the best times of my personal life. Thank you so much for this opportunity, President Kabork. Thank you. The trust and the confidence that you placed in me and my family to come here, and I know what this place is, and to think that I can stand here and be a part of it in this role, it's an opportunity of a lifetime for all of us, everyone in my family. I will clarify, though, President Bork made one mistake. He said it was about 4 a.m. It was 3:51 a.m. when we actually executed. I knew I was going to come work for the right guy, because at 2 o'clock he figured out how to execute a DocuSign agreement from someplace in his house. And we got that thing done, signed at 3:51. So 3:51 is like our time now. So if your phone ever rings at 3:51, I expect you to answer it, because it's just kind of our time. But I really appreciate you, and it did go fast forward. It was something else, and it'll be a story I'll tell for the rest of my life. Chairman Schaefer, I appreciate you being here, and I want you to know, I'll work on behalf of this athletic department day in, day out, but I'll work with the Regents on behalf of this university, on behalf of this state. I look forward to being a part of everything, not just the athletic department that this job brings. Thank you. Governor Pillen, and we had a great call during this search process, and I think what the governor did, just like he did today, was affirmed for me why this job and this place was going to mean so much. Every place, everything is about people. Everything is about relationships. And I thought I knew, and then when I got off the phone with the governor, I was like, yeah, that's it. He sold me. Now, he didn't really have to sell me, because I think I was sold already. But he did affirm for me everything about this state, and it's about its people. And it is going to be a great honor and a great privilege to live and work in the state of Nebraska, Governor. Thank you very much. My time at Washington was certainly shorter than I expected it to be when I went there. I do want to thank President Kelsey for giving me the opportunity and all the support that everyone at Washington gave me. I wish nothing but the best for everyone at Washington, and appreciate what they did for me. A lot of supporters here, a lot of alums, coaches, staff, student athletes. Really appreciate you taking the time to be here. I cannot even begin to express how much and how I'm looking forward to working alongside you. But I also want to spend a minute on Dennis. It's his leadership, not just in the last few days, but his leadership here for 4 decades. I've known the man now for 6 whole days. He's been a great help for me in starting to understand the lay of the land. And his tenure, by the way, he signed 2 extensions with 2 basketball coaches. So when you have a 1-week tenure and you extend 2 basketball coaches, it is not interim. As we don't have an interim president, we don't have an interim athletic director. So Dennis, thank you so much for everything that you did along the way. Most importantly, and I will not look at them right now, I will thank my family, because I will have a tendency to get emotional, and I will get emotional about my family. You met Amy and William and Ellie, but my older daughters, Emily and Holly, who aren't here, and then Amy's sister, Krista, who is here, 6 and some odd months pregnant, 7 and some odd, I don't know, you're pregnant. Her husband, Tony, they live in Des Moines, the fact that they can be here today, but this career, this job, all of us who work in college athletics, it's got its ups and it's got its downs. It is not easy to live with someone who goes through the emotions of what this brings. And so, number one, I appreciate her being able to live with me during these times. But, this school year, I've taken them on a particularly wild, emotional ride. Things that I'm not sure normally happen to anybody. But they've just been, I have a rock star of a wife. I have amazing kids, and we have superstars around us. So I love you dearly. And time to take a drink. But I really appreciate you letting me do this, and particularly coming here so that we can all be together here in Nebraska. That said, one of the best hires I've made in my career that you've never heard of is a guy by the name of Tyler Kai, who's sitting down here. Now, I'm going to tell you a story about Tyler. Tyler is a Nebraska native as a baby, right? But you grew up in Iowa. I hired him from Tennessee, like in the infancy of his career at Tulane. He was there for two years, and he went from here to running the whole advancement and development operation for us. And about 3 years ago, he had got a call to come to Nebraska. And he reminded me this week of what I said to him when he came to my office to talk about the job. I said, if Nebraska calls, you have to take the job. And so he left. And I gave him that advice, and I realized as I was thinking about this job when I first got the call, why I gave him the advice. Because when I was my son's age, Nebraska was the center of the universe of college football. We were winning national championships. I still hear Keith Jackson's voice calling these games, the reverence that he had for this university and this program. And I admired it. I wanted to be a part of it. When I was 9, I thought I was going to be a part of it. And I quickly realized genetically I had no chance to be a part of it in the way that I wanted to be a part of it. I'll give you a little bit of background on my athletic career. I was the backup kicker. I was also the backup holder. When it came time for a pinch runner in the last inning of the game and everybody else had played, that was my time. I was the 15th kid on a 13-man basketball roster, and if there had been a javelin catching position, that's where they would have put me. So it was not going to come on the field. My role or my path to getting involved in this was going to come off the field. When I went to Northern Iowa, Bob Bowlesby was the athletic director, a legend in athletics. And he became my mentor to this day. He is the one guy I called when this search came about. And when I laid everything out, and he said, "Are you crazy? Take that job." And that's what I wanted to hear. Just my mentor affirming what my own mind told me. And then we bonded a little bit over officiating, because I also officiated. I officiated because when I was coaching a group of 6th graders when I was in 12th grade, and I got a technical foul, and my principal was so offended by me, he said, "By golly, you're going to officiate. You're going to learn that you're going to have to respect those officials." So I started to officiate. Fred, a lot's been said about, I hope he's a better athletic director than he was official. I just want to remind everyone, Fred is unbeaten in games that I have officiated. So I was pretty doggone good. I'll see if I can't work the Big Ten championship game next year. But all that, a different path, but all that led me back to the center of the universe, which is Nebraska athletics. It's a crazy, circuitous route, but it led me back here, and I'm so thrilled that it did. Chris mentioned there's so much momentum here right now, so much history, great coaches. The facilities are indescribable. Our student athletes, the passion in the fans, and I call that passion, Governor, a give a darn factor. I might use a different word for it from time to time, but give a darn factor. Nothing beats a high give a darn factor, and that give a darn factor exists here, every place, throughout the state, throughout the university, throughout the department. I love being a part of a great give a darn factor, but if you want to have a culture of success, those are the ingredients that will allow you to have success. I've been particularly pleased, and probably what I did my most diligence on from the time I got the call was about the alignment of the university. Alignment's about common goals, common interests, common belief, common motivation. Alignment is about the willingness of everybody to get stuff out of the way to allow the whole to succeed. Alignment's not about decisions, and it's not about necessarily the people all being this, that, in the order that they are. Alignment comes from the governor, it comes from the board, it comes from the president, it comes from the chancellor, it comes from our faculty, it comes from the student athletes, it comes from a coach. Alignment is up and down. Is everybody willing to move mountains to put people in a position to succeed? That's alignment. And the alignment here is as good as anything I've ever seen any place. This is 17 years for me as an athletic director. I know the places I've been, I know the places I've been around. Trust me, the alignment is here to allow success. So that recipe, in order for us to make that recipe, execute that recipe for success, alignment with all those things in place, we've got it all here. And that's why this job, it wasn't just about coming home. It was about coming home and winning. It was about coming home and seeing great things happen. I wasn't going to come home just for the sake of coming home. I was in my office for about 5 minutes on Thursday before we went to Memphis. I called Coach Osborne. One, it was a big moment for me because, as I grew up watching this, it was Coach Osborne. It's not just how he won. It was how he perceived he won and what I understood, how he built this thing and the way he did it. And I called him because page 1, paragraph 1 of the How to Be an Athletic Director handbook is do no harm. And one of the most important things for me is to understand the culture, understand how we got here. And I'll sit down face to face with Coach as soon as we can get calendar. Hopefully that's yet this week. I want to understand the history. I want to understand the culture. And I want to understand the philosophy of how we built what we built here. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to sit down with coaches, staff, our student athletes. And I want to learn what they think makes us special. If you ask my priority from day one, it's listening and learning. Now, I've had the greatest start to an athletic director tenure that anyone could ever have. I got to travel to Memphis. I got to be around thousands of Husker fans. It was incredible. I don't know how many hands I shook and I don't know how many voices I heard, but I heard a lot and I talked to a lot of people. I've got a really good head start on what the culture is here and what everybody wants and expects out of this place. I can promise you this, Nebraska will lead. We will not follow, we will lead. We'll look around the corners. We will embrace whatever's there, even if we don't like it. That's how you lead. You embrace what's there, and off we go. The relationship our student athletes have with the university is going to continue to change and evolve. We can speculate what it looks like, but know this. If you think the last 5 years in college athletics have been wild, the next 5 years are going to put it to shame. There's a lot happening, and I don't think any of us know exactly what's going to happen. Nebraska, though, remember this, Nebraska became one of the greatest brands in college sports for one reason. It's because we won. And you know how we won? We won because in '69, Devaney hired a strength coach when nobody knew strength coaches were ever going to be important. It's because we took initiatives with our student athletes time and time again to elevate them and put them in a position to succeed. Our student athletes, this is a great place. We do things for them that nobody else is doing. We are a national leader. But today, it's more than strength. It's more than nutrition. It's more than even the degree. It's more than facilities. It's more than giving a laptop when they come. It's more than, hey, we're going to prepare you for success throughout your life. Success now is about innovation in NIL. It's innovation in how we embrace the role of the student athlete inside of our athletic department. Success is about our collective. You're going to see me wearing 1890 stuff as much as I wear Nebraska stuff because it's about this. Recruitment and retention of our student athletes, number one. 5 years ago, nobody would have stood up here and told you that. But today, number one. And how we do that is going to change over the years. But I've said this about Coach Rule. When Coach Rule was hired, I thought that is the greatest coach. I've known Matt for quite a while. That is the greatest coach at the right time, at the right place. He will win big here. Great job of recruitment. I just saw two coaches who went to the NCAA tournament, Amy and Fred, who are great coaches. And I've known Fred forever, and I followed Amy. I once thought I was going to hire her when she was at Rogers State. But we just retained them because you don't let good people get away. Same thing goes for student athletes. Recruitment and retention, that is our priority. And you will see that from me over and over and over again. When you invest in student athletes, the investment pays off in ways that we'll never understand, both for the whole, for the collective, but certainly for the student athletes. And you will hear me over and over again ask you to invest in our student athletes. Now, I have a lot of goals, and I'm not going to tell you all of them, but I'm going to tell you I have one expectation that I will be unyielding upon, and that is this. Nebraska Cornhusker athletics will be the standard by which everyone else will measure themselves. And it doesn't matter what job we have in the department. My staff will hear me say this. It doesn't matter. If you sell tickets in a way that everybody that sells tickets in the country should look and say, that's how you sell tickets. If you teach strength, then you're going to do it in such a way that everybody can say, this is how strength should be taught. This is how academic support should be done. This is how this is how we should coach, but we will set the standard in everything we do. Ultimately, though, I will say this. Ultimately, I don't need to talk to anybody. I don't need to talk to the coaches. I don't need to talk to Coach Osborne. Ultimately, I know this. We're going to win. We're going to win, and we're going to win, and we're going to win Big Ten championships, and we're going to win national championships, and we are going to win academically, and we are going to win socially, and we are going to win with character, and we are going to win with integrity. And at the end of the day, the greatest win of all that we will have here is our student athletes will walk out of here, and they will win for the next 40 years of their life because of the experience they get at the University of Nebraska. That is our priority. That is our mission. Sometimes that mission gets lost because of all the other stuff we're talking about. But we will recruit, we will retain, and we will send everyone out of here a winner because that's what the University of Nebraska is. This is the greatest time at the greatest of places. I will tell you, I am thrilled. My family is thrilled. This is a great honor to be here. Go Big Red.